heard a crazy story. I don't know if you know what Leo Gahe is.
No.
He created, or his family, or his Pt2, which is a Filipino martial arts. One of the stories.
Whoa.
They had a school, and he had a school in New York, and he would take his top 2 students, take them out to Harlem, and start, yelling at some people.
Oh no.
And then say, okay, yeah, let's go take
This
care
is
of
the
it.
N-word, right?
Probably. The way Leo was.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And this is just a story that I heard.
Right.
And I guess one of
You
his
cannot
top guys
confirm or
went the other
deny.
way.
That's right.
And then he had to
one
deal
of
with
those.
it.
Wow.
And then he kicked him out of the school.
Oh wow.
But that was back in the day, when
Right.
you could do stuff like that. And
Right.
and Leo Gahe,
No real oversight.
I mean, my brother Danny had met him,
Uh-huh.
and when we were in the Philippines, and we just happened to Danny and I were there for a family reunion. But during the time of the reunion, we were there for the week. We had gotten hold of somebody who says, "Hey, yeah, they're over in Boracay, which is an island in the Philippines, one of those resort places."
They were doing that tournament.
Yeah, and they were doing it, and it was all instructors. And Danny got invited, and Danny goes, "Oh, I don't really have any money. We're not prepared because we're here for the family reunion." Danny, here's the money. You're going to go see the guy who created the system, because at the time that's what he was like, Pt2, right? He said, "All right, Danny, I got the money. Here's your go. You gotta go. This is the guy. This is your grand master. You gotta go."
Yeah, right.
He goes, "All right." So he goes down there, and I guess he went on like a Thursday or Friday night. Of course, being the guys that they were, you had to drink. And they had these 7-shot shooters.
Oh man.
Boom, 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 and they're going. Next morning it was time to train. And they're like, okay, everybody gets
on
up.
the beach.
Oh no.
And
This is
again,
on the beach.
now mind you, these guys are all instructors.
Yeah.
From all over the world.
Right.
Germany, Canada, wherever.
Wow.
And they're all bikini, trained. And Danny, had only like a year and a half with Doug Marquena.
Oh wow.
He went from Doug, but Danny had already been developing what he was doing. And he's going, you don't have to fight, Danny, if you don't want. He goes, and he's like, I'm not going to West Side. I mean, Leo's here, and I'm going to get in.
Mind you, live stick, gloves, and a helmet. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. No
So
other
Danny
protection.
gets in there, and he goes into his thing, and the other instructors are all white. So, this is where Danny's at, right? So Danny gets in there, but and then after he was done, everybody's like, "Danny, you won that fight, even though you got the shit beat out of you. You were doing technique moves. You were doing that. I could see all the moves.
People could recognize the moves that he was doing. That's
And then Leo, I guess, later that night, Leo pulls him off to the side, has a half-hour conversation, and goes, "Who are you?"
Wow.
And says, if you ever need anything, let me know.
Yeah.
But he offered him a certification.
Whoa.
And just from watching that, and I was just cracking. I go, "See, aren't you glad I gave you the 200 pesos?"
Nice, right?
Yeah,
Just
but
don't
it
know where
was so
goes,
cool.
right? Just
But
don't know where it
like Danny was never one to back down. But he was like, "Hey, I'm here. I gotta represent."
Might as well.
Right.
And
right.
lo and behold, he
That's
held
awesome.
true to the system, and even though he was already trying to redevelop it and try to create something else with it, but they were like, "No, you were doing all these things." He goes, "Yeah, I mean, we saw the videos, and the videos are hilarious." It's like,
Okay, because he had all the videos from all the other instructors having their matches, and then same thing we were just talking about the tournament. They were just waiting for that strike and getting
the old
that. Right, just waiting for this.
Yeah.
And then you see Danny in
Instead of
his,
setting it up.
and you're like, oh wow, that's night and day.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, oh yeah, that's a redondo, that's the abanico, and we were calling out things that he was doing.
That's cool.
And it was crazy, but so going back to this idea of the difference between tournament and self-defense or self-protection, I want to ask you, Bob, specifically, how do you teach your students to make that distinction for themselves?
Since we don't, let me think. We'll be here a while. Since we don't do tournaments, but I do take them to see what's happening.
Okay, so they're spectators.
Yeah, so we're just spectators, and we talk about the techniques and stuff, and introduce people that in the family and outside the family, so everyone can get to know who's who in the zoo, and pay the proper respects.
Right.
The other thing is that when I train, I'm training them to immediately knock people down. Get them out of the way as fast as you can. Even though like that 16 or 17-year-old girl is a lot smarter than me,
She rocked your jaw.
You know, I'll tell you. And I wasn't being being intermediate. I was less compliant on purpose,
right.
because then you don't learn anything. Oh, I'll just give it to you, and then you don't learn nothing.
No.
But so that,
We
but
call that feeding.
right, exactly. I feed them. I mean, I don't count the white belt because a lot of schools do. You have to earn your white belt and stuff. And that's cool. Well, however you want to do it. But I just, here's your white belt. That just holds your shirt shut.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, if you're a girl, I don't want you flying all over the place. You know, that's not good. So what happens is you get your white belt. So from yellow and purple, I feed. We feed.
Right.
We feed.
Get the feel for it.
Exactly. I want you to do the dance. So this is how, I'm hoping I answer your question.
No,
This is how, we have you do the dance. It could be sloppy as hell. But as long as you start getting the dance, then I start to, like a carburetor, I start training tight.
Tuning.
Exactly. And then we start at one point when they get to what I'm looking for,
Right.
just kind of automatic reaction, automatic reflex, right? I call this the annoying neighbor, right? Because
Shouldn't I?
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm learning this, so I have to do it this way, or whatever, limitations you put on yourself. Try to do stuff. So once we get to that point where the annoying neighbor doesn't poke its nose in everything you're doing, that the body's just going on its own a little bit, then I start to pair up. Either me or Sifu John will pair up with you, and we'll feed you. Like that. Then, but you got to start making contact, and then we got to start making contact with you. And the darker your belt, the harder the hits, the faster everything starts going. At least that's how I run it, like that. I don't know if other schools run it that way.
It's a good way.
Since
I like
she's going for blue belt, which is intermediate, I says when I sit there and grab her, I grab her and I shove her back. I go, because that's how you're gonna get shoved. And I just tell them, they've never had that before, and they, how fast do you react? How fast do you flick your switch? Right. So I call it flicking the switch. Because
Danny has a similar analogy.
Yeah, because I said, you're a very nice person. I'm not trying to change that person. I'm trying to build another one. I'm trying to build a warrior over here. The one that's just over your shoulder, making sure that everything's okay around you.
Yeah, until it's not.
Yeah, until it's not. Then you go click.
All right, my turn.
So self-defense, click.
Right.
We work that click and that switch, right? And then if we do tournament, that's a second click. Boom. You know what I mean? So you still have the same attitude, but now you have your rules that you have to. Because right away we try to rock that groin.
Right.
And I've seen a couple people doing stick stuff, and all of a sudden, wham! Because you've trained it.
It comes out.
And it comes out.
Actually, one of our students was fighting in a tournament, and Polsky, I think he went with a girl.
Yeah.
And they were doing sticks, but every once in a while you see her leg coming up, and she'd catch herself halfway in the kick, like, oh wait, I can't do that.
Yeah, that's where the it starts to blend and get confusing for a lot of people. So I don't have anything against tournaments. It's just that I just turned my school into more of a
practicality.
Yeah. It's let's keep it real.
Right.
And I'm lucky enough to have a couple police officers that train with me. And one of them told me the other day, we had an incident at the jail in San Mateo, and I used he goes, I used Punch Art 3 on him. Punch Art 3A. I go, really? But you don't have to keep their hands open. They can't strike. So he said, I used my own version of it, and he says, I had that guy, and I said, if you don't relax, you're going to break your own shoulder.
I love that. My own version of it.
Yeah.
So, I'm hearing a lot of things you're saying, and when Danny introduced me to the Bladed Monk, and mind you, this is back in the 90s, one of the things that he had always said that, whatever you're doing, think of it the way you think of it.
Right. Make it your own.
He says, even though I'm showing you these things, you have to look at it for what your body can do.
Yes.
Right. I mean,
absolutely.
Back in the old days of Kempo days, you had to do what you had to do.
Everyone had to look exactly the same.
Yeah, they all look the same, but it was a breath of fresh air when Dan said, "No, that can't be the thing."
Right.
Now, when you were talking about how you were doing the students, first what we call gross motion,
right? Just
moving. Right, and just to get them, even if it looks sloppy.
Right.
For us, we call that gross motion. Just understanding this is a strike.
Yep.
And then you said you started tuning up, and for us, we call that detailing.
Nice.
Because now you look at all the details of that strike. Of this is it.
All these car frame
Yeah. You know,
carburetor
and then,
detail.
Not even car guys.
and
Me
then the
either.
third part of it for
I'm
us,
a rickshaw guy.
because we call it levels of understanding.
Right.
As you get better, your understanding gets better and better.
Yes.
And for us, a third level of understanding would have been variations. How do you change these things that I just showed you and said, do it this way, here's the details, but now, what else can you do with it?
Yes. Make it your own. I always say
So,
that. Make it your own.
the thing that fascinates me now is that I used to think that we were the only ones, but lo and behold, I'm an idiot.
No.
He really is.
Hang on, I'm going to lean back.
I have
But
knives.
I'm starting to see the instructors who are like you or
Yes.
like-minded that say evolution is a must
Yeah.
come to this conclusion that Danny had, to say that no, you have to be this way and you can't conform to what everybody else is doing because it doesn't work the way it should for the individual.
Right. Right.
You know, if you're teaching the masses, okay, but
Right.
even then the individual's going to get lost in the shuffle.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that too many times as well. I mean, I've helped other schools, help them as instructors, and you get 20, 30 people, which is awesome. You're like, yeah,
Some
pay in the
big
bills,
schools, right?
baby.
Oh, yeah.
Pay in the bills. But you end up losing 10 of them, maybe 20 of them.
Yeah.
Not just because of the time, or they can't make it there because, 6 to
You
10,
know,
it's
6 to
all those
10.
things.
excuse me a minute. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
I keep hearing the chimes.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Lau's going to come. It's like, oh, it's Lau's time. I think you're going to step up and start teaching something.
Lau's time.
And it's like, okay, where's Lau? Is he
Yeah,
coming?
yeah.
That's why you keep looking over
Yeah,
there.
somebody's coming out.
Kick me.
Oh,
Kick me.
stupid.
Good.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
No,
That's
good.
good.
That's good. Hey, nothing better than enter the dragon reference. And if you don't know that, shame on you.
Shame on
That's
you.
homework. Watch Enter the
Oh.
Dragon. That's always
Yeah,
homework.
Daddy's gonna preach everyone.
Yeah, finger pointing to the moon.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Sorry about that, but
No, it's all good.
I just
think
thought it had
that's
to be
hilarious.
said.
That's great. No,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
Enter the Dragon reference is freaking awesome.
you know,
That's what
I,
got me into this whole mess.
yeah, you
Yeah.
and everybody
I
else.
was 10 years old,
Yeah.
1973, and I mean, I don't mean to
Oh
go
no,
left
I'm
on
there.
what you're doing.
No, no, no,
That's the
it's
same
part
age.
of it.
No, it's just I don't mean to go
He
left on
looks
something.
much better than you at your age.
I stayed inside though.
There you go.
No,
Yeah, I was always out on the street somewhere. So.
no,
Yeah.
I was too. No, we used to do that evil Knievel thing.
Oh, yes.
I got my ass handed to me by my dad, building a ramp over the front of his Plymouth. Not the top, just the hood.
Oh no.
Lucky we made it, but
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't see my bike for a while. In fact, I didn't see daylight for a while
that's funny.
after that.
What are your thoughts on the bladed mic? Because I'm sure a lot of people
I-
are kind of curious about this.
Oh, I mean, I love it right away. As soon as Brother Dennis told me about it, I'm like, great. Like you said, there's more people out there like this.
Well, that's why I'm
This
bringing
is
it up
awesome.
because I'm looking at you and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
if we didn't know each other, we'd be doing the same system.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I'd just be drawing stuff in and sharing and adding if we need to or not. I mean, that's one thing. Again, going back to Bruce Lee, that's being 10 years old, 1973. It says when I would listen and read about his stuff and talking about Noah's way and the tradition of this and
E-water, my friend.
yeah, and be and be your own. Let it just go and mix. Then I got older and did more homework and found out, oh, well, wait a minute, he actually was visiting Ed Parker and Ramos and then he would coming up with the idea that they already had it, and he said go for it because they knew that he was going to be
Yeah.
this catalyst.
Right.
This guy that was
Definitely
out
a
there
focal point.
selling it, man, because he was very vocal.
He was already
right?
in the public eye as well.
Exactly. So yeah, do it because they said that's the only way that it'll really work.
And I think it's funny that now we call him the father of MMA, but there are people, the
Before him.
grandfathers were.
Oh yeah,
you know.
like what's his name? Gene LaBelle. I would
Yeah.
say that he's the grandfather, since he was the first judo jiu-jitsu guy that jumped in the ring with a boxer
Yeah.
and decimated that poor guy. But and even back in that, the mixed martial arts and samurai.
Yeah.
They did all that stuff. They had the other than just the knives that you always see in Hollywood and stuff. But,
Oh,
they
yeah,
had-
yeah,
they
there's
had
a
to learn
lot of-
the espionage. You had to learn horseback riding. They had to learn arrow, bow and arrow.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they had to learn all that
Hit
stuff.
somebody through the eyes at 30 paces.
Yeah, see what I mean? It's that it was already going on way before even Kaju.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
Even what in Greece, the Pancreon, what was that system called?
oh yeah,
You know,
Pancrase? What is it?
Pancrase,
That was
yeah,
called?
something like that, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was essentially
Yeah.
mixed
Like a
martial
lot of
arts for
syrup.
gladiators.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yogurt.
That's the yogurt.
Swiss,
Yeah.
Swiss.
That's right.
They didn't have
That's right. They
syrup.
don't have syrup back then. Pancrase. Oh, I thought that was like pancake tournament.
Sounds like it, right?
No disrespect. You know, it's all good.
I've come to find, or at least, and you have to give acknowledgement to Dennis,
Oh yeah.
how he's bringing. I love Dennis.
Mhm.
He and I talk very often.
Good. Yeah. Good
But
guy
I
to talk
love his idea of now trying to get all these people together.
to. Yes.
That learning lab thing
Yeah.
is a hoot.
Yes, I think that's phenomenal. I wish I could add more to it. I'm like, someone already did it. That's all good. That's cool. I'm good.
And
I
it's
go
driving Danny.
pick weeds.
It's driving Danny crazy because now he wants to put all kinds of stuff. in
Oh
it.
yeah,
Do it.
Danny's
Yeah.
Yeah,
done.
that's why it's there,
Yeah.
man. I mean, just because if you
But
guys
I love that
monopolize it,
there's
who
now
cares,
a venue.
man?
That we have a venue to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Prior
Yeah.
to this,
Yeah.
there wasn't any. And I just love that Dennis said, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll
We-
make it.
you
Why
know,
not?
I'll do
Yeah,
it, and
yeah.
and then we call him the ambassador because he's just
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
for
definitely a
example.
linchpin between a lot of people.
And the crazy thing, or what I also love about that is that if it's not working, he'll toss it out. He just did that with the.
Oh, yeah.
What would you do? He's
Yes.
like, that's not working, so we're gonna toss that out. We're gonna try something else.
Right.
Like
Not even
not even a.
we don't need board members. This
Yeah.
we just proved that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I thought that like
Board-
I said, you gotta give
self-appointed
him the
board.
credit because
Yeah.
prior to this, I never really heard of people having a powwow and saying, "Hey, blah blah blah." It's funny that the COVID did this
Yeah.
Yeah, it
it's
pushed
weird.
it. It pushed it even more because
we
now
had to get on the computers, we had to
Yeah.
do Zoom, and we had to do these things.
and
Even this guy, he showed up one day. We were having a class at my house, and he was like, "Hey, I got a new stand, so we're gonna try filming something." I was like, "Oh, okay." And we started a conversation. Half an hour later, it's like, "Okay, that's good." Then he posted it. Now we're doing this.
oh no, this is phenomenal.
This started out at his house.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really
well,
did.
Is that are you blaming him or?
Yeah, pretty much,
okay.
Oh no, I had the idea all along. I said,
Oh, there we go. Okay,
I
we're gonna
wanna
make
sh-
it.
I go, hey, now I want to shoot the stand. Just want to have a conversation.
Right.
Let's talk about what we do and whatever. 'Cause,
Actually, that was a good class.
If it's
prior,
failed, it's his fault.
prior to having the college conversation, I was getting a lot of people wondering who we were, what we were,
Right.
and why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Which is always the norm when you're coming out.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And again, since we weren't, and Danny wasn't even trying to come out, but here it is. I just kept on blabbing my mouth, just talking
To
the right
everyone.
people, like, what do you guys do? Who are you guys?
Yeah.
You know?
That's the only way. What you get? Not that you need to be legitimized. It's good to get feedback.
Yeah.
When you're out there, it's not like
And that's
hey,
why
look at
I
us,
was
look at us. It's
Right,
like
right,
oh,
right.
what
Yeah.
a-
That's why I wanted to see what people thought.
Yeah.
Is our stuff comparable to what everybody's doing, and does it make sense? And the first conversation I had with Dennis, I had showed him something. He goes, "Hey, that's a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
That's a cool way of thinking of it. And wow, that actually works the way you're thinking." And then he introduced me to you and said, "Hey, blah blah blah.
Me too.
Look at these guys.
Yeah.
And we got to come out here and play with you guys, and that got me to thinking. I said, Danny, you actually do have something here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I,
it's important. It really is.
Yeah, this can make a difference in the way people see things.
Yeah.
And Danny's very nice. So I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
We're more
humble,
excited
but
than he
yeah,
is.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we're more
Alright,
vocal about it.
Who's gonna do this?
He's
I got a
pretty-
headache.
But yeah, so like I said, I really respect Dennis so much because he is bringing out a lot of people who you normally wouldn't.
Yeah, he's good at going. Hey, so and so, talk to so and so. Right?
Yeah.
You guys do what you do.
He wants to create the norm of evolution. Evolution becoming the norm, the standard.
Yeah.
And let everybody talk to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. You know how the evolution of that came? I mean, we talk about evolution.
Right,
how
right.
that came. It was like, I don't know where we were. Oh, it was at the KAA picnic. I believe it was at the KAA picnic many years ago.
Now it's KAA picnic for the guys in the skin.
Oh yeah, Kajukenbo Association of America picnic.
Yeah.
They usually have it at Lake
You can't use letters not
No,
knowing.
yeah, sorry about that.
Look it up.
Sorry
Google
about
it.
that. Those other acronyms, but those are bad words. But yeah, we were there, and I remember seeing him, and sometimes you just there's a vibe a person gives off.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's something about this dude, man, that's just so chill.
I need to talk to him.
Yeah, exactly. And so I went and talked to him like this and done, and he's a very interesting human being.
Very.
And my senior grandmaster Pete, started the Golden Dragon Ohana. No self plug. I'm just Ohana. And his school used to be Golden Dragon School of Karate in Newark, and he was there for 20 plus years. And so now, you know, he's not doing it anymore, but he got kind of disenfranchised with all the other associations and how this was happening and that was happening, and he didn't like the politics and whatever it was. And
Politics ruins everything.
Oh my God, you know, that's the thing. That's the worst. I just stay quiet in my own little cubby hole, man, and you guys do whatever you do. I'll poke my head out every once in a while and see if I see my shadow. but you know, but that's why Senior Grandmaster made this Golden Dragon Ohana, so that he says, I want an actual family. He goes, all my black belts and their students, I want them all. I don't care if you guys hate each other or fight each other. We're all going to back each other up no matter what.
Right.
No game plan. There's no board of directors. There's nothing like that. He says the black belts that are under him actually make the decisions as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Wow.
not a, you know, you're a president and you're this and you're that. You know, that kind of thing, which I like. And we don't promote people. That is where it really goes bad. You don't promote people. Now, like say like, you guys come on in, and whatever your titles are, we're like, hey, we're going to say, here's a certificate of the Golden Dragon Ohanas, and we're acknowledging your rank as who you are in our organization.
This is our title right here. Kuya.
I like that. That's the brother, right?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I like that better. Like my son, you know, Uncle Alan used to call Uncle Alan Joe. I used to call him, you know, Grandmaster. He goes, no, just call me Uncle. That means more to me than. And I said, I like that. I really like that. So I really like that too.
Danny has a thing about, you know, he is always afraid that if anything became political or it would just ruin everything that he's thought about because of what he has seen in the systems. Not
Then it
just
become work.
Well, you get ego.
Yeah.
Egos jump in there, and I don't know if Brother Dennis, but said this to you, but I had this quote that when, you know, a lot of these organizations are run by people who are not exactly the most intelligent in the
Agreed.
group. Okay,
You're not wrong.
And I'm not disrespecting. It's just what I have seen through 40-something years, and you know, it is what it is.
They managed to prove it to you.
Yes, I don't ask for it.
Yeah, they just say,
Why
hey,
would
look how big of an idiot I am.
Yeah,
You have
exactly.
enough doubt up until then.
You can put the flag down in the flashlight.
Yeah.
You know?
Neon lights, you can tell
I know where you are.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would say that I said you would get the CEOs, but you know you would actually have a janitor become a CEO overnight. That's how I coined it. You know, all of a sudden, and I'm not saying that being a janitor is stupid,
No,
but I'm talking about just the level of job and the level of responsibility.
The guy
All of a
cleaning the
sudden-
toilet now running the company.
Yeah, now running the whole company, and it's like, really, is that all we got? You know, is that it? And I've been
That's what's
asking
going on
that
right now.
I would say that's the question now. This is the best we can do.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yep. God bless
Good.
George
WTF.
Carlin. Yeah. So, but that's how I run it, and it's just like, well, let these guys they destroy themselves. They'll start, you know, whatever. We just do what
Let
we
me
do.
ask you this, because you used the word disenfranchised.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of people. I think I could be disenfranchised with whatever association or organization that's out there. But now what I do is I don't look at them as a whole anymore.
Individuals.
Absolutely. And so because I said I'm still friends with people who are there and over here and, you know, this and that. And so now I deal with them on an individual basis.
Right.
And rank and things like this, it's, you know, I acknowledge the rank and I acknowledge the belt,
Right.
but I will respect the person wearing it depending on what they say and do.
Yeah.
That's
Actions, not words.
exactly.
Basic
And-
respect for everyone,
Yeah.
but your respect goes way up.
Yeah,
if you're a certain kind of person.
exactly, and that's another reason why that's how it came along with this thing with Dennis, and we pulled him into the GDO because we found out that, you know, he wasn't like an orphan or anything. That is
Took
a
him
big
in,
orphan.
we fed him.
we couldn't
He
feed
had that doghouse over there.
Yeah, no, we couldn't feed him. We didn't have that much. Anyways, sorry, Dennis.
He's
I love you, man. But that you know, he's like, oh my God, this is where I've been looking for, and I didn't realize I was looking for something like this where they don't look at each other as, you know, oh, you're a belt, that kind of that, so I'm gonna treat you. And it's like, no, you're a human being. You're just like everybody else. You got your own personality.
You have something to share. I'll listen.
Absolutely, and that's what Pete wanted. So when we started to get going, all of a sudden it was like people started no politics.
Gravitating.
So we had to really, you know, vet some of these people. Because, yeah, so we had to kick two
Smart.
or three. Yeah, we
Unless it turns it into it, right?
yeah, we had to kick 2 or 3 out on purpose because they you know, They were just
Have you ever
not
kicked anyone
good
out
people.
accidentally?
Could happen.
Working on it.
Oh, I'm so darn. Oh, come on back. No, but that's where it went, and then it started, having more different people sharing.
Yeah.
And even on the Golden Dragon Ohana Facebook page, on the side there, it says this is what we kind of, for lack of better terms, and I forget how it actually. This is what we kind of expect of the members. It's like we would like you guys to share with each other for free, but if you want to charge, that is between the individuals.
Got
The
it.
Golden Dragon Ohana, we don't.
That's funny.
We don't. We don't get into that.
Yeah.
That's
So-
small potato stuff.
So here's how we do that.
Yeah.
And I always say this is that once a student has the basic understanding of anything, of anything, it's okay, go teach it to somebody else.
Well, there you go.
Right?
Yeah.
And we have them share.
Yep.
And what we've been seeing, or what's been developing, is that guy who had to share it, no matter how long they've been there or how short of a time they've been there, is growing.
Yeah.
Because of the idea that they're showing something that they had recently learned.
Right.
But when they go to show it, they actually show it better than they can do it.
Yeah. You have to bunkai it in order to in order to teach it. You have to break it down to minuscule parts. Now, how do I verbalize this?
Yeah.
Zoom. I hate Zoom. I hate Zoom.
Yeah.
Make my head hurt.
Yeah.
But hey, it's good for me.
Yeah.
But
You hear the right things.
And you learn to appreciate those little things
Yeah.
because they go a long way with the individual students.
Mhm.
And if you can't have the individual student grow,
Right.
no matter how good your class gets,
Yeah.
it's the individual student that carries that class.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I like, that's exactly going on that premise too. It's like we were talking about earlier. It's like when you teach something, it's got to be exactly like this.
Right.
Everyone's got to look like paper cutouts of each other.
Rigid things are fairly brittle.
Yeah, like I said, bamboo is what we want to be. You bend with it, but you're still strong.
It's so funny because somebody had said to us in a tournament one time, "What system are you guys?" Because they're trying to figure out who we were. Where do you? It's like, "Oh, do you guys do Serato? Or do you do?" And they're looking at us and goes, "What system is that? What?"
They couldn't make heads or tails.
Yeah, they're so caught in that tiny box.
Yeah, they're so
right.
looking for everybody's signature thing, and we're like,
Right.
we don't have any of those.
Yeah, even between students, he doesn't look the same as that guy.
Yeah.
They're wearing the same shirt.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I said, I have 12-year-olds, no one younger than that, and it
Right.
also depends on the maturity level.
Yeah, usually girls are
yeah.
a little bit.
That's
more.
why I have two 12-year-olds. I said, you know
Yeah.
what? I looked at them and I said, I don't usually teach anyone under the age of 16, but you young ladies are more mature than I am. I said, I like digging fart jokes. So, and since when I
I
said
hope
it,
you didn't say that to them.
no. I wouldn't have said that to them.
She
In
was
my
in the
head.
club?
Yeah. Kick me in the knee.
There you go.
Yeah. I said, wow, okay, well, okay. You gave me that look when I made a joke and you gave me what I call the straight eyebrows.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? I said, all right, you're more mature than me. I will
All right,
accept
good
it.
teacher. Yeah.
But then I also
You're
have
qualified.
a 65-year-old. So you
Yeah.
can't train, and then in the middle you got a 24-year-old, young, strapping, strong dude. That's so you got to train him each differently.
Oh yeah.
You have to.
Him, you want to hit a little harder.
Yeah.
Just because.
Why are you so young?
I hate you. I'm gonna knock the testosterone out of you.
It's interesting that you say that you do have to teach the individual as opposed to the class.
Yeah.
Not
You're
a lot
one
of
the-
people do that.
Yeah, you're one of the few that I've heard say that.
I mean,
Yeah.
But
And that's why I like you, because I think we're like-minded in
Wait,
that
you like
sense.
him?
oh my
Oh,
God.
I love this guy. Well,
Here, have this water.
Yeah. Well, because when
You
we
got the
first
wrong
met,
water.
I did.
so it's funny. He and I were supposed to meet a lot sooner than we did, through a mutual friend.
Really?
Yeah, a gentleman named Ronnie.
Ronnie Bontillis?
No,
Ronnie. Oh!
no.
There's like an
saying his
inside
name?
joke that I'm missing.
Well, no.
From Pleasanton?
Yeah.
Grandmaster Ron Stell?
Oh no, not Sal.
Another Ron,
It's not,
another
even,
Ron.
It's not even Ron. It's
Okay,
what's
I'm
his
gonna
name?
start laming off
No,
Ron.
he's from out here.
Ronald
He-
McDonald?
No, he was telling you about me to come down to South City.
Right.
It's not Ronnie. I'm sorry.
No,
I
it's all
got the name wrong. But
You're getting up there.
we have he
That's what happens
he
on
was.
this side of the
God, I
table.
wish I could remember his name. He's gonna hate me for this.
Oh, okay.
We're Facebook friends. He actually bought a bunch of our shirts because he liked the design. When I was doing fundraisers, because I was trying to raise money. But he goes, yeah, I have a good friend by the name of Bob Gomez. he's an instructor out and I think you two would get along.
That was
And
years
then,
ago.
Yeah, and then he goes, yeah, I talked to him. He's gonna come down here and we're gonna chat with you. And then he canceled. You canceled.
See, I don't know why
Him or
anyone's.
non-Ronnie?
See, I don't know why anyone's friends with me.
Yeah, it's on my Facebook.
I'm the canceller.
Oh, just so you guys know, he couldn't cancel today
He
because we're
surfs.
at his house.
He's a surfer. He's
Oh,
surfer.
Ron Simmons.
Simmons.
Yeah, no, he's the only guy. Him and two other guys are the only ones I keep
That you
contact
know-
with from high school. Everybody else were douchebags.
Yeah, that's what. But he was. So I don't know if you remember that conversation with him.
I do now.
Okay.
I do now. Yeah.
That was me.
That was you.
I was waiting for you for the meeting, and then I get a call. He goes, "Oh yeah, he can't make it. He's got other such and this." Oh, no worries. Whatever.
Ron
Yeah.
Simmons.
That was like
And that's
4
why when I had
years
heard
ago.
your name, I
Yeah.
said, "Hey, this is the guy that Ron was asking." Me. So I was right, Ron. I just couldn't get the last name.
That's all right. That's
But
all right.
he
I
was
guessed one
like,
sooner or
"Yeah,
later.
this guy's great. He loved what
Run
you
through all
guys
the
do
runs.
because
Yep.
he thinks differently about martial arts." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Damn, I really want to meet this guy."
Yeah.
And
I
then
got my AR-15.
yeah.
That's
And
different.
then we had an opportunity to meet because of one of the gatherings or something.
Right.
And he goes, "Oh, you're the guy that Ron was telling me about." And I'd always wanted to meet you
Yeah.
because he said you were different.
Oh.
And to me,
I was
different
different in
is
high
always
school
good.
too. Yeah, I was
Yeah.